Oh, ladies and gentlemen, it's official. It is official. Maybe the first guy I ever knew in the sports media ever, and one of the most important voices in boxing today.
One of the greatest people on earth. Let's just why
Why even?
Why mince words?
Max Kellerman is here. Max, how are you, man?
Good. How you doing, brother?
I'm really good. How's life for Max Kellerman these days?
Busy.
I know
3 jobs and 3 kids.
Hold on, you have the ESPN TV show every day.
Yes, that's right.
You have ESPN Radio every day.
Correct, that's 2.
710 LA. Is that correct?
Right. 710.
And then you have HBO Boxing.
That's 3.
So let's try to battle schedule-wise here.
Right.
I want to know whose schedule is worse. I think time-wise, see, I have the morning part, right?
Okay.
Which I think inherently puts me in a really bad
Yeah,
category.
you're on the wrong side of the day.
On the wrong side of the day.
Yeah.
What is your daily schedule? Let's go Monday through Friday. What are we looking at?
Well, okay, do you have kids?
No, and no kids yet.
See, I'm married with 3 kids, and the only thing I care about in the world are my 3 kids, right? So
give your wife some love. I mean, let her get a little bit.
but she feels the same way. We love each other and everything. But
yeah, we're good.
But it's cats in the cradle, brother. Like she sent me video today of Mira, that's our youngest, who's a year and change. She learned to walk while I was away. Like, that just happened. She the first 5-6 steps, she's walking by herself, and I'm on the road. So all that stuff happens. But I do get to be on the right side of the day. So I'll get up at usually about depending on the day, but usually around 7. I'm up.
Okay.
I'm out of the house by also depending on the day, but let's say on average 8:30.
And give me real quick, kids' ages.
7, 4, and 1.
Okay, so you have 2 of the kids who will still be in the house when you're up, but your 7-year-old.
No, 1 of the kids.
Only 1.
1.
The 4-year-old's off to daycare also.
No, not daycare.
Preschool.
School nowadays. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So I'm out of the house 8:30. I'm back at 7:30.
And that's on a regular day with no HBO.
That's no HBO. Yeah, that's just regular day, and I got to get a workout in there somewhere.
That's tough. Where do you do the workout? How do you do that?
Depends. Pilates or whatever else I'm doing that day. I got a bad back. I got to do Pilates. Do you understand what I'm dealing with? It's middle-aged man. That's who I am now.
It's weird, right?
Yeah.
You were this is something I can relate to you on. You were the young guy.
Yes.
Always. That's what you were known for. For people who don't know, and by the way, we've been talking about it with everyone, so we're talking about Pacquiao, Bradley, but I haven't seen my guy Max in a long time, so I want to catch up on other stuff. But
hold on. How old are you now?
I'm 36.
Right. You're old, too.
I'm old, too.
No, you're not old. You're like right in the – you're good.
I'm at the end of the sweet spot.
Yeah, you're not really young anymore, but you're not old yet. I'm 42. It's a little bit –
no, but you're at the way beginning of old or the way end of young.
Yeah, I'm at the beginning of old, I think.
But it's got to be weird for you because for those who don't know, Max's start in TV was literally public access TV as a kid.
That's right.
Right? So you got into the game at so young. How old were you with your first big gig? What was it and how old were you?
Right out of college. Now, I took 7 years to get out of college.
Oh, of course. I took 5. Not too bad.
Right? Come on, It's what's the Tommy Boy line? Lots of guys graduate in 7 years. Yeah, they're called doctors. Yeah.
Exactly.
So I get out, and my first job was ESPN right out of school. I was doing Friday Night Fights.
How did that happen? How did you get that gig that fast?
As I was graduating school, I looked around at my friends who, as you know, from New York. No, wait, you
I'm not from New York.
Right, okay, but if
DC,
you grew up in
but
New
I'm
York,
adopted.
you know the whole gamut, right? You have friends who are dead or in jail, and you have friends who are on Wall Street or in politics, or friends who are firefighters. I mean, it's the whole thing, right? Every job imaginable, people, you grew up with people like that. So I looked at the successful ones. And what have they done? Okay, so they made resumes. They sent them out to 50 places. They followed up with 50 letters, 50 phone calls. They approached it seriously. So I said, okay, this is what I should model it after. So I doing the public access show. My brothers, I have 3 younger brothers, Sam, Harry, and Jack, and they helped me put together a press kit and for a potential Max on Boxing show and a video, a 5-minute highlight reel. And I sent it out to a bunch of places and followed up with, I was going to follow up with letters. The truth is they got back to me pretty quickly, and that's how the ESPN gig
Doesn't
happened.
it feel, though, so beyond lucky? Like in this era, the idea of reaching out to an ESPN and them even hitting you back and needing a boxing person.
No, you know what? Actually, the ESPN thing specifically, so that's what I did. But now, there was a Steve Lott who was in.
Of course.
Steve Lott,
yes.
right?
He was
Bill Caton's right-hand man when Tyson was coming up.
He literally was day-to-day with Tyson for a long time in the early days.
I bump into him in New York, just on the street, And I was on my way to see a screening of an RFK documentary that Jack Newfield had done, the late great Jack Newfield. And he says, Max, by the way, we're doing this. We're relaunching Friday Night Fights. We're looking for a new voice. Blah blah blah. Do you have a tape? And it just so happened I had the material I just described. Said, yes, I'll get it to you. Sent it to him. He gave it to Bill Caton. They got right back to me. We want you, and we're advising ESPN on this. They sent me to Bristol to audition, and that's how it happened.
All right, they're going to tell me that they need to take you very quickly, but I want to talk to you about one other thing that's important. I never got to see you immediately after your brother passed away. And first of all, my biggest condolences in the world, but how did you, was it 2010? Something like that?
It'll be 11 years.
Oh, it's been that long?
No, it'll be, 11 years.
So, without
getting... not 2010, it's 04.
04, yeah. Wow. I can't.
So when you say brother, my mind goes, So
how, for other people who are dealing with an immense tragedy like that, obviously it helps you have two other brothers and you guys could all bond together over this, but still it doesn't change it. How did you go about getting...
the absence of one family member, for anyone who's lost a family member, particularly the closest to you. First of all, there's the subjective loss, right? Everyone experiences that. But objectively, my brother Sam was also a genius. He was a brilliant guy. And
was always your right hand, right? It was always Sam.
I wouldn't say right hand. I would say that we were...
you guys were always together
always,
at the hip.
Yeah. So how do you deal with it? I don't know, man. 5 years... it's funny. Nothing will erase your memory, like trauma. I have patches in my memory that are gone, and it was 5 years before I could function like a regular human being. And then still, it's rough. It's rough.
Well, listen, bless you. I was just happy to see.
Yeah, thanks for bringing that up. That's great.
Sorry, Max.
I was just living my life, trying to get through my day.
I know. But it made me so happy to see your whole life come together, and the family and the kids and all the jobs. Because my wife went through the same thing. She lost a sibling, and so when I see other people go through something like that, when I got to be front row to seeing how hard it is, when you see someone go through it and prosper in spite of it, it's inspiring. So, we don't know each other well, but I've known you for many years. So I was always proud of how you've come along.
Well, I appreciate that. You do feel comfort from other people for a strange reason who've lost someone very close to them. It's a really terrible club to be in. And I know anyone
there's a real love in the club. It's weird. It's weird, right?
It's like a Survivors Club. The main thing is anyone listening to this is like, whew, I'm glad I'm not in that club. Because that's how I used to feel. You hear about someone losing a brother or someone close to them. You think, a kid, I'm so glad that that's them and not me. That's exactly how you should feel. You should feel very glad it's not you. And may it never happen to you. It's the worst.
That's a last thing. Prediction for Saturday night. I hate to be generic, but give me something.
They don't like it when I make predictions because I'm calling the fight. I would say that it's at first when the fight was announced, I was like, oh God, again, come on, Pacquiao's beaten him twice. And the closer you get to this fight, the more interesting it is. It is a difficult fight to predict, and I feel like if you just stick your finger in the wind, see which way it's blowing, it seems like it's blowing a little bit for Bradley at this moment.
Well, that's where it looks like the money's going. And any shout-outs to Robin Lundberg while we're here, your guy, the kid you put on.
By the way, who's now on. By the way, also people say Lundberg, protege and all this. Lundberg helped me as much as I helped him, believe me, all those years. He's a super talented guy who was getting no credit for the stuff he was doing because he was mainly behind the scenes.
And a little too smart. And sometimes he's a little too smart for the room because he's so good.
Yeah,
he's
great.
If you're talking to people who don't get the wavelength he's on, that's why I understand why you guys got along perfectly. You guys are right here.
The main thing about Lundberg is executives in the business still don't get it with him. Most of them, the smart one, the really good ones do. But eventually they will, and he is it ain't going to be overnights anymore. Let's put it that way.
I agree 100%. That's my guy. Max, great seeing you, bud.
All right, brother. You too.
Happy for everything. Max
Thank you,
Kellerman, HBO.